I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Makakadash, double honor to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to your Akim that's pushing this truth. This is the brother Yakalam from the GMS Boston camp, and out of one Ratazal through the Spirit, this lesson is edifying as well as a faith builder. Just like clockwork, here you have, I had a couple of articles that I had set aside, and as I go to do them, it's like more information is coming out. And there was an article about what was happening over there in China as far as them having bracelets that had tracking technology in them so they can make sure that people who tested positive for that thing, that they were actually home. And the first thing that came to mind was that movie Songbird. If you watch the trailer, and I've never saw the movie, but from the trailer it shows you how they're already on their basically X amount variant, and they've been on lockdown for over 300 and something days. And Salaki, if that's wrong, it's in a high number, and the dude's riding through the street. So at that point, of course, martial law was imposed. Soldiers is out there with the checkpoints, and they got the guns on the dude, and he holds up a bracelet saying like, "Nah, I'm immune." And the other part of that being like people that are quarantined inside the house, if they cough or they have to, they have to check in and get their face and stuff scanned to make sure they're not sick. So it's showing you that, art imitates life, life imitates art. That's what's going on over there in China. But we know ultimately with that tracking thing, what it's going to lead to. But here in the U.S., this article had to be from last week, but then the other day, matter of fact, the day before yesterday, today being Monday, so Saturday and Sunday, over here in Babylon, we've been hearing about the number of cases going up. Not just cases with that, but the monkey business as well. And just like clockwork, they have a juice for the monkey business. You know? So the thing about over here in Babylon is they're telling everybody that it's gonna be okay. People have been so distracted with the war and once again being like free range chickens because people were able to go outside and they didn't hear anything about it. They thought it was sweet. But listen, man, it's gonna be bad this winter. It's going to be bad this winter. The the scarcity with the food and the issues with the grains and what's going on over there in Russia and Ukraine, that didn't go away. The price of gas, even though this dude Creepy Joe had said that prices at the pump is going down, when that ain't it. That ain't it. And people are gonna feel it this winter, especially when they push through with their next plan. Um, and so I lock your Akim for my voice. I got my water on me. And I'm gonna get to the precepts, just getting everything out as well. As far as just last month or so, because Salakia, time's going by so fast. You had this devil Killy Gate. He released a book going into GERM, which is the Global Emergency Response Mobilization, and you had the head of the WHO basically acknowledging it and saying it's a good read. And now all of a sudden with them, they're talking about bringing back the mask. And over there in Cali, they're talking about enforcing the mask back. So it's going to be way worse. It's going to be way worse. And this is First Thessalonians 5:1. Matter of fact, before I get that, once again, over here in Babylon, they're telling the people everything is looking good, while while you got these medical experts that are warning people that did take that juicy juice, the effects of what's gonna happen. Showing you how their bodies breaking down. You got people that took that thing that's telling you how their body has been changed. And we tried to warn y'all. We tried to warn y'all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. And you also got the farmers, because I mentioned, the food. And somebody was like, oh, well, that's just an analyst. You have the UN talking about, there's a 10-month supply, 10 week before the world starts to feel it. I think we're in like week 6 or so, but either way, what adds on to that is coming out the horse's mouth. These farmers are saying that, in October, people are really going to feel it. And October's around the corner. We already about to hit August, but this is First Thessalonians, Salakia 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, and this is what these devils are telling, Jake, even on a ooh, Baraka, yeah. So I like you. Just lost my train of thought with that, going back into the peace and safety. This is why you're having so many uproars around the world. Sri Lanka being one of them. Just slipped my mind. Where the other place was, even in China when they were locking it down, you had the people protesting because they was locking people in buildings. When they locked down shit, they lock it down. People didn't even have enough groceries, and they didn't care. They were putting up the signs. They were you know. So those uproars are coming. Why? Because people are being lied to by these politicians and these puppets about everything being all right. There's a reason why they got the gate up over there by the Capitol. What happened on the 6th was just the beginning. And these devils know that. This is why they're trying to get these guns and pushing all these type of gun laws, because they know what they're about to come down with. But also, but of the times and seasons, because Second Ezra says what? 9:1 says to, paraphrasing, it says to measure thou the time diligently in itself. And it goes into looking into the signs, seeing what's going on. Cold wars become hot wars. Exercises come wars, special operations, especially when other countries are involved, and we know how, this country's getting down with sending the weapons and sending the money. They're 2 feet in. They're just trying to build up with their propaganda all these other nations and get the backing of the people. But it goes to show you, the Lord said that he was going to send plagues upon this earth. Famine, death and destruction. And it's going to happen. Because it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. So here you have, matter of fact, let me get that. It's lock, y'all. This is the book of Proverbs 22:3. And it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. And the word prudent going to one that cares for the future. And that's looking at the signs, to be aware, not being caught off guard, not sleeping. And it says, and hideth himself. And who we're gonna hide in? We're gonna hide in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, under his wing, as the I believe that's the book of Psalms, and I'm gonna get that as well. But the simple pass on and the punish. You have Isaiah 30, always bring that out, 30:3, to the point. For trusting in Pharaoh in Egypt should be a shame and confusion. So Jake want to trust in these devils, believe in these devils, taking them juicy juices, not preparing, living a careless life, and that's all because these devils are telling them everything's gonna be all right. Come on now, ever since their plan hit, things have never been the same. Things have never been the same. And it's gonna be bad. That's why it says, and they shall not escape. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 30:7, but I'm gonna start at 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to 1 Thessalonians 5:3 and reread that real quick, because it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Jeremiah 30:6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. That's how bad it's going to be. When all hell's breaking loose, not even including when the actual Lord shows up with the chariots, or when Leviathan is revealed unto the world. Things are going to be so bad. When you look at games, I mentioned earlier, art imitates life, and life imitates art. Games like The Division, games like the Last of Us, movies like Bushwick, the first Purge, the Road, when we watch those movies and we think about the spiritual aspect, like, damn, we're really gonna need the Lord in that day to guide us. To guide us. You know what type of person you have to be to get out of certain situations is gonna be at the hands of the Lord. And it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. So all the accounts, Salaki, y'all can bear with me. So all those accounts that we read in the Bible, you know, first thing coming to mind is that famine that we read in the book of Amariah, when the women had to eat each other's children. Yes, cannibalism is coming back. This is what these devils are into. You know, the Lord's going to put the spirit on people to eat their, to eat their children and eat each other. So read those accounts. Read the accounts when Jerusalem was besieged. It's going to be worse than that in this time, especially when, the book of Revelation, 12 goes into how this devil's going to come down with great wrath. His kingdom is through. His kingdom is through. And it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. And going into what inspired this lesson, especially with this monkey business, because I've had dreams of these devils, pulling up to the complex, pulling people out. And if you didn't want to take it, they give it to you, or they toss you into prison to be tortured. What do you think these camps are set up for? Here you had the Super Bowl being subliminal. People watching the Super Bowl to see these washed up legends. And really, they ain't, I'm going to just say washed up entertainers the whole time. They dancing on concentration cubes and stuff. And then Jake's like, nah, man, you thinking too deep. But then when you go and Google what they look like, it's exactly what they look like. Those are set up. They about to dust off those guillotines. They about to dust off those FEMA coffins. Matter of fact, I mentioned the game, the Vision. I myself and other brothers have done lessons on that with the bodies tossed in those, because why? A lot of people are going to die. Especially, listen, it's going to be a dark winter. That's why they have an operation named after that. It's going to be bad. Why do you think they're talking about power grids going out, man? Listen, man. Once again, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. Adoram Tazor going into Lord willing, that we're a part of that number that's going to receive that mercy. And it says Daniel 8:25, and it says, through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And look, through this devil's media, through his unrighteous decrees is spoken about in Isaiah 10:1. Look how far his pandemic went. They approved this stuff for the children, and they spoke about it. And look at the children. People are dropping. You got these athletes in tip-top shape, dropping right on the field, dying early. But they're leaving out the point that they had to take that juicy juice. It was mandatory in order for them to continue. What do you think is going to happen this time, especially with the monkey business? With a virus that you could see. What do you think, these devils ain't in the lab fucking around with it? That freaking C19 came from what? SARS. It's showing you that, And this is what this, listen, man, this is what he does. And this is why you have Kelly Gates investing in all these farmlands. People ain't paying attention to the factories burning down. They just think it's a coincidence. Like, the Lord controls everything. The Lord is playing this out, and it's about to get bad. That's why I read Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, but the simple man, y'all gonna get destroyed. But going back into Daniel 8:25, it says, and through his policy, and I mentioned his unrighteous decrees, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. We're coming to cure you. We want things to go back to normal. They don't. Come on, man. If we was to live to see it years from now, you would hear about, if you took that thing, you're eligible for compensation. How many times did the government admit to injecting people with shit as an experiment? Not just a Tuskegee project, because the brother posted how, during the Bill Gates era, how they were testing people. How many times did P get caught up? How many lawsuits? They were in and out of Africa. The B&G Foundation. They were over there doing all these testings and stuff. Come on now. And by peace he shall destroy many. And this is why, man, those trusting in Pharaoh in Egypt is going to be to their shame and confusion. They wondering why they hot skipping. Or when they go to the grocery store and everything's locked down and they can't get no food. You got these other nations preparing for war and stuff like that. But they do you a service by doing a video on if New York was to get nuked. Guess what? All of Babylon's going to get nuked. And there ain't no surviving. Unless you part of the elites and you got money to go hide in a bunker just to be preserved for our slavery and for judgment, your ass is grass. Your ass is grass. Were you part of that number to be beamed up? Your ass is grass, man. So through peace, this devil has already destroyed many. This is why Ecclesiasticus tells us what? To never trust thine enemy. But, man, Jake. And this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14, because it says, woe to the world and them therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. So those riots that we're seeing all around, Sri Lanka, where they ran the prime minister out and was up in his crib, and the president out, one left by boat, one left by plane. Same thing is going to happen here. Why do you think during that lockdown, that time in Michigan, I always bring that up, he went and grabbed his guns? The FBI foiled a plan of them fucking devils wanting to kidnap the governor. Or that time when everybody, the fucking government was stringing them along for months just to give them $600. You don't think they're thinking about that? Looking at all that money going over for war? Read the comments. Read the comments. Even on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, read the comments. People are fed up. They did that poll going into people are thinking about taking up arms. It's going to happen, man. The scripture tells you right here. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. And swords in their hands. For this will be sedition, meaning speaking out among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their palm. They ain't going to regard, stay at home, wait in line, wait till we, tell you what to do. Especially when these devils come down with that Operation Warp Speed, when they really start coming down, forcing people to get that juicy juice. Listen, man, the simple pass on and to punish all those simple niggas, because this is what this message is for you so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans, and those that are scattered amongst those other nations that may look like them. So the Israelites that went and trusted in this devil, y'all already through, man. Y'all was the first guinea pigs that were willing to go down there, that didn't want to take heed, that cared about that job, bought into the hype. But listen, man, that was your lot. But those uproars are coming. There's people that took that first dose that's like, I'm not taking that. I'm not giving that to my children, especially after how my own body feels. There's going to be civil unrest here. There's so much going on. And I mentioned that about the what happened in Sri Lanka. The first thing that came to mind was how they went to Nancy Pelosi's house and they spray painted on her door. Because people were waiting for that $600, starving, not having enough money. When they got it, they didn't know if it should have went towards the rent or their groceries, but it was already too late. The economy's going up, but people's paying. People ain't forgetting that. And then you know what happened after that? She had the nerve to go show her second refrigerator with all type of ice creams. These politicians, they don't care. They're not going through the same sufferings as the average person. And this is why you see all these civil unrest going on. And it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So once these cities are locked down, that not just by the military or by the UN troops, because they're here. This is why, for example, you got the videos of the UN vehicles over there in Ohio. And recently these countries just signed over their power to the UN. And then you're going to have these gangs forming together. You're just going to be able to move about. And that movie After Armageddon shows that. And it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. And men shall be afraid. And this is what's coming, man. This monkey business, whatever C-19 business or C-20, whatever their variants going to, It's serious business. And Jake is about to feel it. You know? Jake is about to feel it. This is why you have that, matter of fact, let me get this real quick. This is the book of, get this real quick, man. Jake out here living a best life. But hey, man. This is right here, 2nd Ezra 16. It says, woe is me, verse 17, woe is me, who delivered me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. You have all these, Jake want to travel, go here and there. Man, you got people that can't even go back home. I believe over there in the UK, they're canceling flights. These airliners about to go on strike. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? If you go on social media and you only look for certain things, you would think everything's back to normal. But all these things are still rising. Go on Newsbreak. People, man, them death angels is out there. And I didn't even go into CERN. Brother posted how those spirits are out here. It says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish is sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, because Jake is simple, and they're going to be punished. Nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. When you look at what was going on with the PUA, Jake getting that paper, buying all type of designer shit, all type of abominable foods. Now they ain't got no money. Now they're struggling. Now they're crawling to Uncle E, looking for something, but you ain't gonna get nothing, man, but a shot and a cot and a fucking camp. And it says, even though shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Once again, trusting in Pharaoh and Egypt is going to be your shame and confusion. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Showing you, man, that's what's coming here. That's what's coming here. So with that, I got couple of more precepts. Ecclesiasticus 12:1, because it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Like when we're able to put these shows up and we're able to go on the highways and byways, those doors of mercy, yeah, they're open, but they're closing. Especially once the elect is sealed, and you ain't going to have any explanation to anything. You ain't going to have any answers to anything. I always bring that dream out of me going down to camp and there being a multitude of people where we teach, but no one's there. And I get that phone call like it's over. The book of Amos tells you that. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. Then it says right here, once again, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So don't wait till shit hit the fan and be like, oh shit, I remember now. Oh, now it's not happening now. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. Well, guess what it is? People always say that. What else happened before? When you look at us measuring the time diligently in itself, how the Lord said, I told you of these things before. When you go to the book of Matthew, the apostles asked how was shy at the time, and he goes into, the wars and rumors of wars, the famines, the earthquakes in diverse places, the uproars of people. All those things are happening right now. And it's going to be bad. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab Matthew 24:19 because, keep thinking about the winter time, especially when the lights go out. So all that little bit of food, perishable food that Jake get, that shit's going to be gone. When they cut off the water, shit, that's a lesson in itself. Matthew 24:19. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath, especially over here in the East Coast. The winter gets bad, and you ain't gonna have no heat to heat your place up, no warmth, nothing to cook that food. And the average Jake, man, they ain't even putting together they ain't even grabbing a couple of cans of beans. The average Jake don't even know how to cook beans. Everything is convenient. McDonald's, hot Cheetos, lobster. Ain't gonna be boiling no crab and lobster in that day. It says, for then there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be, showing you that it's going to get bad. And as Isaiah 55:6 says, and I'm going to end it on that, it says what? Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. So this monkey business is just it's just one of the many things. As I read, the Lord's going to send famine, the sword, whether it be from this sharp, whether it be from E coming down using his curse, because it was never really a blessing, and that ultimate sword being those ICBM missiles. So this monkey business is an example of what's coming down here. So I hope this lesson was edifying as well as a faith builder. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Double honor to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to your Arkham that's pushing this truth. Till next time, Yasharallah. Shalom.